when people quit, it's right before they have a breakthrough. Just a little bit more is all it would have took. And I could have made that team that year. Just a little bit more. Just yesterday I was reading and I read about 211 degrees. Anybody know what water is at 211 degrees? Hot water. It's just hot. It's just hot. At 211 degrees, it's just hot. But at 212 degrees, it begins to boil. Just 1 degree more, just a little bit more, and it moves from good to great. That's all it takes sometimes. See, in life, when we do what's easy, when we start to take the easy route out, I guarantee you later on in life, everything will begin to be hard. But if you look at just the opposite, when you begin to do what's hard, what's complicated, what people consider impossible, when you begin to do that first, life later on down the line begins to get a little easier because we're used to it. We have to form our mind to believe in such a way that nothing is impossible. Many years later, when I went through high school, I didn't take it seriously. I did just what was required of me, nothing more. I didn't give anything extra, just what was required to graduate high school. And I graduated with limited skills. I graduated a partier. I graduated someone who didn't take life serious. I began to take the easy way out. A few years later, I found myself homeless. Living in the back seat of a car. I would go to bed late and get up early so no one would see me sleeping in that back seat of that car. Cold months. Cold. Nobody wants to sleep in the back seat of a car, I promise you that. So when you decide to take the easy way out, remember, it's going to get hard later. A gentleman by the name of Robert Frost reminded us that one day as he was walking in the woods, he saw 2 roads diverge. He said, I took the one that was less traveled. The successful people in life are the ones that take that road that's less traveled. The road that people say is hard, the road that people say is impossible. Successful people take those roads and they make all the difference in their life. I found myself in Hinesville, Georgia, where there was a cousin of mine that stayed there. And she sat me down and she asked me, George, what are you going to do with your life? And I didn't have an answer. But I had talked to a Marine Corps recruiter who told me he can get me out pretty fast. And that's the answer I thought of when I spit that answer out. I said, I thought about maybe going into the Marine Corps. And my cousin looked at me again and said, no, don't think about it. Do that. Because you need some structure in your life. You need some discipline in your life. And she was right. So I found myself in 1995 in Parris Island, South Carolina, where they make United States Marines. But I was the same person when I got there. I was the same quitter. I was the same cheater. I was the same liar. Nothing had changed about me. But something would soon change. As Marine Corps recruiters or Marine Corps drill instructors have a way of slapping a little discipline in you. Just a little bit of discipline. And it went a long way for me. There was still that pain. There was still that aspect of pain. And we had to do what's called an initial strength test, which is we had to do sit-ups, pull-ups, and run 1.5 miles in X amount of minutes. So I got up on that bar and I knocked out 12 pull-ups. No problem. I got down on that ground and I rolled out 65 sit-ups, no problem. But in the back of my mind, I knew that that run was going to be a problem. And that's exactly what it was, a problem. Because I first thought it. I first thought about the problem. I first thought about the pain. And my drill instructor gave me something, gave me the tools that would combat that for the rest of my life. The pain is always going to be there. Pain is inevitable. One of the Four Noble Truths says that life is suffering. Throughout life, we're all going to suffer some kind of way. But we have to remember these 7 words that my drill instructor told me. Pain is only weakness leaving the body. Pain is only weakness leaving the body. And I began to look at pain as only weakness leaving the body, and that's all it became. Pain leaving the body. I wanted that pain to leave my body, so I pushed and I pushed and I pushed. And I graduated Marine Corps boot camp. My life from that moment on had changed. Nothing changed about me but my thinking. But that's all that needs to change. You can't change nothing in life without first changing the way you think. I'm going to leave you with this progression of a thought. Everything in life begins with a thought. Everything first begins with a thought. The more you think something, the more you begin to speak those words. So your thoughts become your words. The more you think something, your thoughts become your words, and your words become actions, what you do. Nothing changes until you do it. You have to take action. So thoughts become words, words become actions. The more we do our actions become our habits. Everyone in here should strive for habits of excellence. When we think of habits, sometimes we think of only negative, but there can be some good positive, there can be some good habits as well. And we've all learned in school that 2 things can't occupy the same place at the same time. 2 things can't occupy the same place at the same time. So you can't have good and bad. Strive for good habits. The more you create your habits, your words become your actions become your habits. Continue on your habits, and your habits become your character. And your life, character is going to take you far. I know you might think that how you dress and how you look, that may take you a little ways, but I don't care nothing about your swag. I want to know what your character is like. Who are you when nobody's looking? Who are you when nobody's looking? You have to ask yourself those hard questions. Smart man by the name of Socrates said the unexamined life is not worth living. Examine your life. Who are you? Who do you want to be? What do you want to do with your life? You all have greatness in you. And it's up to you what you do to that. You have to be accountable to yourself. It's up to you what you do with your life. Nobody else. So your thoughts become your words become your actions become your habits become your character. And you continue on that path. And your character becomes your destiny. Character becomes your destiny. So anytime in life when you want to change the direction of your life, you have to first change your thoughts. The way to change the world, ladies and gentlemen,